the yellow, the orange, blue. In this little pocket here, just like you'd go get like a massage. People will go to places where they get ASMR treatments. They're so careful and thoughtful how they touch things or move them. There's some Maladon salt. Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'll be taking you on a journey from the earliest days of ASMR when it was the whisper community to the present day ASMR and what I think the future of ASMR is. I'm also going to talk about the categorization of sounds, so like wet and dry, predictive and unpredictive. And so there's going to be lots of really great sounds in between. And I've also made ASMR memes. I don't know if this is a thing or if I have truly invented this, but there's going to be little snippets of kind of meme videos, meme images that I've made to provide comedic relief, because what would a dose of tingles along with laughter be? Like, would your brain just be overwhelmed with pleasure? I don't know, but I hope so. If you're only here for the memes that I made, you can find the description of where they're located in below, and you can just go right to them. Otherwise, if you're here for the whole video, welcome. I'm pretty new to making ASMR videos, and I'm kind of on a journey of exploring my creativity, my voice, my style, emulating some of the creators I like the most. So if you'd like to join me on that journey, please subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. And with that, let's begin. I have had ASMR my whole life. Even when I didn't know what it was, I would often get it in like a customer service type of role situation. Somebody would like put things in a bag, your clothes or your library books or something. The library, I'll get into that later, but that's definitely a tingly place for me. And I think I was searching out these experiences because I found myself on YouTube and I would watch things like QVC. I found like Lita's famous massage video. I'll link a picture of it here. If you've never seen this video, please go watch it. It's incredible. And all types of like unintentional ASMR. And I just really enjoyed watching them. And they gave me this wonderful, wonderful sensation. And one day I stumbled across this video. The channel is Legacy ASMR, and I will link that channel in the description. And this guy, his name is Ken, and he was just playing with marbles, kind of like I'm doing now. They're in a bag, but you get the point. And I was escaping. I was transfixed by this video. He had such a soothing voice. It was so wonderful. And then he made recommendations to these other channels, these other people that were doing these whisper videos. And it was at that moment I had found my path. I had found the way I like to relax. And I started watching ASMR videos regularly, and I enjoyed them. And I always wanted to start my own channel, but I was totally afraid. Plus I had limited resources. That's probably a topic for another video, but in any case, So for the first part of this video, I'm going to play with the marble, just like Ken did. So I'm going to zoom you in. In Ken's video, he had the marbles in what he called a basket. Although I think it was more of like a plastic woven bag. And he played with them in that bag for a little bit. I don't have that bag, but I do have a tie-dye bag with a little mesh top. And this is a bag that someone made on Etsy. I will link the shop below. And that's another thing that gives me ASMR is intention. When somebody has carefully done something, constructed it with love and care, it just gives me a good feeling. I don't know if it's necessarily ASMR. Anyways, in Ken's video, he would kind of squeeze the marbles like this, just like this, and then he rolled them out like this, and then he played with them like this as he spoke. And I'm telling you guys, my brain completely melted. I was so transfixed by this video. I watched the whole thing from start to finish, and it felt like it passed in 30 seconds. It was so relaxing. And in that video, he made recommendations to other channels. So I thought that I would do the same thing, especially because as I've started my own ASMR journey, I've realized that I was watching just very kind of meat and potatoes ASMR. Like, the ASMR world is so huge, I didn't even know. And I just would go to my favorite go-to artists, and I didn't really explore. And I feel so guilty because there's so many amazing artists out there. So I would like to mention a few of the ones that I've recently discovered that I've really fallen in love with, honestly. The first one is Comforting Sounds ASMR, and this channel is amazing. It's kind of that classic ASMR from the 2012s. Comforting Sounds is the Coco Chanel of the ASMR world. She knows how to keep it just so beautifully simple, flipping through magazines, coloring, tracing images with her hands, and she has the most beautiful personality. One of her videos, she's doing one of those videos where you go through the shop, and she buckled in her little drink. I don't know. You've got to check out this channel. It's when you know that you just want something that's going to give you tingles, that's a great channel. And the next one is Reiki Divinely Guided. The lady's name is Latoya, and her voice is like butter melting on toast. I don't even think I need any video. Her voice just does it for me. It's insane. And the content is very thoughtful and kind of works you through different things that you might be struggling with, kind of cleansing your aura, your kind of meditation. And I don't know if she does it intentionally, but she has the most amazing lo-fi background noise. It's crickets, and oh my god, it just is so perfect. I love that background noise. It's so interesting to me on Reddit. People will be talking about how can I get rid of background noise? And everybody in the comments is keep the background noise. We love the background noise. And I can relate to that because I've spent so much time figuring out how to edit sound, and it's oh no, keep the background noise in. And I think it's because silence is actually incredibly disruptive. Like, it's like, oh, something's wrong, it's silent. So having that like constant influx of noise, kind of like I've got the background of these marbles going right now. It's like very soothing to our brains. So please check out Reiki Divinely Guided. She has some amazing videos. And the other channel that I've discovered lately is TingleStorm ASMR. I think she's from Italy, and her accent, it's very slight, but it is so lovely. There's something just beautiful about the way the words tumble out of someone's mouth when they're not a native English speaker. Every one of them is a lovely garment I want to wear. Her channel is like a lot of medical role plays, and she includes so many sounds, and she does it so well. I really liked her channel. I've totally fallen in love with it. So I will link those 3 channels below, and you should check them out because they're all amazing. The other thing in Ken's video, he talked about gentle whispering. I mean, the original superstar of ASMR, of course. And he mentioned her hands and how she always does things so intentionally with her hands. And I can definitely relate to that. The hands are probably one of the most, if not the biggest trigger for me. Being able to see someone as they are so careful and thoughtful how they touch things or move them. So in Ken's video, he had a letter opener, a wooden one, and he used it to go through the marbles. I don't have a wooden letter opener, but I do have a chopstick. And I noticed something that if you go under them, like this, it's very different than if you go over. And I don't know if I mentioned Ken's channel, it's Legacy ASMR, so you should check that out as well. He also picked them up like this and then bounced them off each other and stuff. And I just love the sound of them. It's also like a little miniature massage for my hands. It feels really good. And in his video, his marbles were more of like an iridescent, opalescent, like mother of pearl type of color. And I couldn't find those, but I did go a little crazy on Etsy. And these are all from different shops there, and some of them I think are old-fashioned. Like some of them are a little bit bigger than others. They have like a little bit of irregularity. And then some of them, these ones here, I actually got from a shop that I'm pretty sure they recycle their glass from like glass blowing operations. And these ones have like sparkles in them. They're so pretty. And it's kind of got that ocean sound. So when I was first discovering ASMR in the 2012, I would find a lot of videos like this, and there were a lot of ramble videos, like people just talking in a soft, gentle voice, maybe doing something with their hands. There's this one channel, it's called MissVindicat. I think she's from Denmark, the Netherlands. She has a Scandinavian accent. And I would love to put her channel on, and she's had a channel for a really long time. I would love to put her channel on in just the background, and I would just feel like someone was there talking with me, and it was so, I still do it to this day. I love that. So I think the beginning of ASMR really had an emulation of the unintentional type of ASMR, which I think is quite related to like real life ASMR. And I think that was really powerful for a lot of people because finally there was something that you could relate from what you were experiencing to like an actual trigger. At least that was for me. So one thing that I like to do is put things in my plants so that it covers up the soil. And I thought that we could maybe do that together today with these marbles. I replanted this plant and I thought we could put them in. So one of the things I do is I collect different things on my walks with my dog Remy, and I put them in my pots, like a little piece of driftwood. There's a screw here. I love that sound. Little polka dot rocks, little leaf, googly eye. Looks like a magpie has collected all of them or something. We could do that for this pot. And I replanted this plant a little while ago, like maybe 4 weeks ago. And he really seems to be doing well. And I love, this pot is also from an artist on Etsy. I know I'm completely addicted, but I love when someone uses like a pointer to point things out in ASMR. Such a good trigger. I like tapping sounds. You know, they're good, but I feel like sometimes it's like and it just gets like a little too much for me, but there's something about like one point. It's so good. And this pot has like a kind of abstract design. It has orange and yellow and blue, and then these little polka dots. And you can see that pretty well on the catch plate. The yellow, the orange, blue striations, and the polka dots. So anyways, I thought we could put the marbles in the soil, and then when I look at them, I would be reminded of my first ever ASMR experience, as well as this video I made with you. And also, like, I love it when you look at something and it's just different. Like you would never see it in a store, or it's something creative, you know? Just totally different. So I'll go ahead and start putting, oops. I'm gonna actually turn this around so you can see a little bit better. He's like, I want to be with the sun. I think this will look really pretty with all the little marbles in the soil. I love the feeling of when you watch something and a tingle comes on and it's just like somebody is peeling neurons straight out of your brain. It's like such a good feeling. I have both type A and type B ASMR. Like I can actually give myself ASMR. It's not that easy. I don't get it from like my own videos. But like if I'm very like almost meditative, and when I give it to myself, it's never as strong as if I get it from an outside stimuli. And I always, like, it's super rare in real life that I get ASMR. I guess we're just not that kind of a society that's chill. And but in person, has always been the strongest for me. Let me know how that, what your ASMR is like. Also, I forgot to mention, but if you want to link like the video that was your first ASMR experience, like in the comments or something, I would be super curious to know like what other people's first experiences with ASMR. Or even just like, even if it's not a video, if it was an experience, like please tell me about it. I think my very first one in real life was in a store, was in like a clothing store. The lady was like so calm and like folded things like so carefully that I just, yeah, my brain melted. It's almost embarrassing too, because you're like, what is happening to me? Like, it feels so good, I don't want it to stop, but this is weird. Wow, I really love the way this is looking. It's so cool. I like the sounds when they like roll together like that. It's really cool. I also like when like somebody's doing something in a video and it's like you're just like there with them. I think that's why I really love tutorial videos. Like Bob Ross gives me ASMR for sure. He's like Lita, he's like the original ASMR. So like watching somebody do it, like you're there with them. I think like the camaraderie, the feeling of being together. Wow, you guys, I love how it looks. It's so cool. I'm gonna put it on its little catch part. By the way, if you check out Ken's video, the first ASMR video I ever saw, first intentional video, he also had it on a terry cloth. So I've tried to make the setup as similar as possible. Whoa, you guys. Look at this. It's so awesome. So, an idea that I am developing for my new videos coming out is I want to make never before seen triggers, which, given the prevalence of ASMR videos, I think might be kind of hard. Plus, the internet is vast. Like, what may seem like an original idea to me may have already been done. But anyways, I do think I have a few that I've never seen before. I do believe that these are brand new triggers and I'm collecting them. And I want to make a video of never before seen triggers, because I think it'd be really good. For example, I think tickling your plant is a never before seen trigger, like this. And there's something about the pointing and the aspect of tickling, even if it's a plant. I think tickling and ASMR are very similar types of experiences. Even if somebody isn't tickling me, if they threaten to tickle me, I feel like I'm being tickled. And the same is kind of true with ASMR. Like, you watch a video, no one's there actually touching you, but you still get that wonderful feeling. I think that through our neurons, I think those experiences, tickling and ASMR, are very similar. I'm not a scientist. This is just a hypothesis that I have. And anyways, I think that'd be kind of cool. If you know of somebody who has tickled their plant as an ASMR trigger, please let me know in the comments, because I would be very curious to see that. I think that's why I find feathers so tingly, is because there's something so ticklish about it. It might be a childhood trauma because my grandpa would tickle the grandchildren with peacock feathers. He would sneak up and get us. He called it the tickle torture. I say it's a trauma, but it was a very, he was a great grandpa. And so maybe that's why they're linked to me. So, if you guys think that video would be a good idea, let me know. And also, yeah, let me know if you've seen anybody tickle their plants. I wonder if plants can get ASMR, and if my plant right now is like super chill. That'd be really cool if it was. So, yeah. He's also probably like, stop tickling me. Ah! Oh gosh. Oh wow, I love the way that feather glides over the marbles. It's really cool. There's something about pointing, having an extension of the hand that is extraordinarily tingly to me. So the next thing I wanted to get into was the categorization of sound. As I have started to make videos, I've started to think a lot more about sound. And I think one reason that the marbles are so pleasant is because as they run into each other, there's no ability for our minds to predict the sounds. And because there's no predictive capacity, our minds just let go. And that's why it's so relaxing. Like, there's a classic bubble wrap. And I think one of the reasons that bubble wrap is so tingly is because you can't predict it. Likewise, there are some sounds, like this brush, which are completely predictive. And I think that our brains can fall into the pattern of those sounds, and that is equally as calming as the unpredictable sound. Which I think is really cool. Like, and I like both sounds. Like, I like both predictive and unpredictable sounds. I've also noticed that there is a strong, people like the sound of wood, and I think that's because of the ability for wood to partially absorb the sound. So there's kind of objects that have a harsh sound, and those that have more of a soft sound. So for example, this is a woven basket lid, and this one seems like it's made more with like twigs, and this one like with reeds. So like this sound is quite distinct from this sound, and I think it's because they absorb the sound more. And I think the more sound an object absorbs, the more gentle it is. So I think that's why people like wood sounds, is because the absorption factor. The other thing is like there's really dry sounds and really wet sounds. Like anything to do like your mouth can make wet sounds. Like a lotion bottle or something. I have to be honest with you, I am not a fan of really wet sounds. They kind of are actually unpleasant for me. Now, That's fine if people like them. Like, ASMR's got a variety for everybody, right? But I have found that if a liquid is encased in a solid like this, that I really love that sound. And I think it's the same thing, like the container actually absorbs some of the sound. And then I also really like, guys, I think it's so interesting how people are crazy about lid sounds. I like them, I do. When they spray, like, I like that spray sound. Like, I'm like, oh, yes, don't mind if I do. So one thing I also tried when I was kind of practicing this video is I took a marble and I rolled it around this basket. And it sounds so good. And it's really different than this basket. And I have to say, I really prefer the more damp sounds, not damp as in like wet, but like the absorption factor. So I'm really interested how like sounds interact with each other. And I think it's interesting how you can look at how like the same sound, like the same object, like that has a very different sound than like the interface between two objects, what be it they are the same or different, how that creates different sounds. And how if you take like a softer, more damp sound and apply it to a more harsh sound, that there's a very different interaction. This is probably all like down to physics and friction and all these things, but just playing around with them is a lot of fun. Another thing I did is I actually took a few of the marbles and put them in here. I noticed if you do too many, it's kind of like overwhelming. But if you just did a few, Whispers Red has this video, I think she calls it the sound maker, and it's basically like something similar to this where she's slowly moving all these sounds, and it sounds like the most luxurious rain. It's so pleasant. And this goes back to like the unpredictable sounds, like mine just like lets go. And likewise, there's those sounds that we can predict, like when there's like a zipper sound, like the comb, or like I got this light. It's called the Whoosh light, and I did get it on Instagram. They advertised it to me, and I was thinking about it, and then I decided to get it. Now, the discussion of how advertisements are invading my life and affecting how I spend my money is a totally different topic, but anyways, I'll just turn this off. I love button sounds. There's something about like a one-click sound, which is as a distinct pleasure as opposed to like keyboard typing. So this light was printed on a 3D printer, and normally I don't like plastic, but this looks pretty natural. It has like a vibe like it came from the ocean or something, and because of the way it was laid down as the printer was printing it, it has these kind of predictive sounds. And I love the way it looks. Like, it looks like a sponge deep in the ocean. Or something like, I don't know, something really different. Get it by each ear. Oh, I just love that. It also kind of has this like 1970s vibe, which I think is really cool. Yeah. Oh, and I love the sound of light bulbs. They kind of remind me of lid sounds, which people are crazy about lid sounds. But maybe that's kind of another new ASMR trigger. I don't know. Maybe people have done light bulb sounds. And I did replace the bulb with like an old-fashioned bulb. So it has like yellow, warm light. I am super sensitive to light, and I like really ambient light in my home. Now, sometimes these old bulbs, like the filaments will have like a little ding ding ding, which is really nice. Speaking of lid sounds, I've been saving all these like little bottles. Like this is a vanilla bottle, I think. Vanilla extract. Because I have all these great lid sounds. I don't know what I'm going to do with them just yet, but I am going to make a video with them. That, yet again, the interaction of like glass with metal, like the composition of two sounds together, or the sound that two objects make, I find really fascinating. I was mentioning my first ever ASMR experiences before I ever even had or knew what it was. And a lot of those happened in libraries. There's something about the hushed sounds, and I think the books absorb a lot of the sounds, and so any sound that does come out is really muted. And the page flipping. And, there's these little libraries where I live, and they're free. And I just found this book in it. It's called Tad Williams' Otherland. It's a sci-fi book. I haven't gotten that far into it, but it is really good so far. And I love that they have these little free libraries. I think they're really cool. I also got this book. I don't know, I might regret getting it. It's called We Live Inside Your Eyes, Tales of Shock and Horror. And I have to be honest with you, I do really love like true crime and stuff like that. Okay, I know I shouldn't read it because it scares me, but sometimes I just have to. So, those are the books I got out of the free library, and one of the things I loved about the library, like one of the things I remember is that a lot of the books had this plastic cover on it, and then when you would check a book out, the librarian would put your card in this little pocket here. And then she would have like a stamp. And the stamp would put the date like this. And I love the way these stamps make sound. I love these stamps. It just sounds so good. So that was one of my first like in-person ASMR experiences. So now I will get into some of the trends that I am seeing in ASMR today that I think are really interesting. And the first one is real person ASMR, which I think is really interesting because it kind of reminds me of like my very first experiences with ASMR. It's almost like they're trying to simulate that. So they'll have like a real person in the video that they're doing the makeup on or massaging or whatever. And I think one of the reasons that this is so pleasurable is because we're really good at empathy. We're really good at imagining ourselves in that position. And we can kind of transpose the touch that is happening on that person onto ourselves because it's a very realistic representation. You know, it's a human. So I think that's going to be more and more popular. It also makes me wonder if someday, like, just like you'd go get like a massage, people will go to places where they get ASMR treatments, ASMR spas. That's kind of towards the future. And you'll have to forgive me. I don't have a real person, so I'm using my lovely styrofoam person. I'm doing point of view ASMR on a styrofoam head. I have reached peak weirdness. Probably not, honestly. Probably just gets weirder. Styrofoam has a really unique sound because it's very absorptive. It has a high absorption of sound. That's how I'll say it. And I like those kind of dampened, like soft. And yet when like you move down, it actually has kind of like a harsh sound because it's so smooth. So it's kind of like two sounds in one, like a soft, damp sound, but also harsh. It's really interesting. So the next thing that I think we'll see a lot more of is what I call Foley ASMR. And this is almost like they're making sounds for like movies or something. It's like, and they usually have microphones that really concentrate on picking up that sound. So for example, I've got my little wood bowl. And I just listen to that. There's some Maladon salt. And then they'll really concentrate on the sound of the object, like really up close. Anything that has length to it, like it extends the finger in like a magical way, like this little spoon. I just love that. And I see like a lot of these Foley videos on YouTube, and I think I'm super fascinated by it. Like I want to learn how to record sound in that way because I think you could create these like really cool soundscapes, which I think is like another thing that I see more and more. Like I see these layered, like almost like people are painting with sound, and I'm really fascinated by that. I think there's going to be a lot of exploration in that regard. Yeah, so those are kind of like the trends that I'm seeing in the ASMR community now. One thing I see on Reddit all the time is like how nostalgic people are for the ASMR of like the early 2012s, like the Ken's Legacy ASMR, like a lo-fi quality, simple ASMR. And I think a lot of people, myself included, have a tendency to like kind of outdo ourselves, and really like a lot of times just something like super simple is really what people want. So I think there will be a resurgence of videos that are like that old school style. And I also think there will be unintentionally intentional ASMR. Like people will try to mimic those early tutorials. They already do, but I think it'll become more and more popular because there's a market for it. Like people want that. So as I said, I'm like totally in love with pointers, so I'm gonna like play with my little pointers as I talk. I have like my little spoon and a chopstick, and I have a stir stick with two different size ends, a glass one. I have a pen, and this pen has the most amazing sound. I love that sound, these little elephants. I also have two little antennae. I'm just kidding. Although they are really nice because I can like reach around and get behind your ears, just like that, on each side, and give you like a binaural feeling. I think that's the other thing, is that we're gonna see ASMR that's like more and more as if you are physically there. Like, yeah. So now I'm going to be talking about what I think the future of ASMR is and where I think the community and the art form is headed. And as I talk, I'm going to incorporate different sounds, different things that I enjoy. So there will be some background noise to it as well, and my hands and stuff like that. So, in my job at work, I deal sometimes with like the mapping of the subsurface of the earth. And one of the ways that they do that is they have these like massive trucks that come in, and they're called thumper trucks. And they like pound the earth. And then you measure the sound wave that comes back. And that can tell you like how thick formations are, and it gives you a picture of the map below your feet. And I think one thing we're going to see is a mapping of what ASMR is in the brain. I think this is already happening. And because ASMR has such a relaxing effect, I think that there's going to be medical applications for ASMR in the scientific community and in the medical community. And I think that's going to be really interesting to see that unfold. The other thing this is my new soap jar, and I just love how the glaze looks on it. The other thing I think is that ASMR is kind of like the original metaverse, and it's been creating role plays and trying to immerse people in like a virtual experience for over a decade now. So I think we're going to see applications in the metaverse with ASMR, really unlike a lot of other like things like games and stuff. which I think is really interesting. In that regard, I think that art is evolving, and we've seen these NFTs, non-fungible tokens, and stuff like that, and a lot of these are image-based, but I think there's a market for ASMR. I mean, I think it's a very modern kind of art in a way, and like I was talking about different soundscapes and things, as I have started to learn about all the different microphones and filming techniques, and I mean, oh my god, it's totally overwhelming, but as I've done that, I've realized that there's so much potential with this medium that it is literally like painting with sound, and I have so many ideas. I have ideas coming out of the walls. They are everywhere, and I think it's going to be really interesting, the future of ASMR. I think we've barely, sorry if you don't like wet sounds, I think we've barely scratched the surface, to be honest with you. I like the sound of like a pump, like it makes me, it's like a button sound. So I think the future of ASMR is just so wide, and like when I first started my channel, you know, I think a lot of people kind of said to me like, oh, ASMR, like that's such a saturated community, like there's so much content, but in my mind that there's still so much to be made. And I guess one other thing that I would say about the community is that as I have started to make videos, and you know, I'm just like a simple little person, I have connected with people, and you know, when the world kind of changed and things got like locked down and stuff, that was really profound. Like, I know that a lot of the videos, like if you never interact with the creator, it's like, do you really have a relationship, or is that a genuine connection? And I think it is. I think it is. I know it has been for me, and also as a creator, just being able to connect with other people, and it's been a really profound experience. I really hope that you have enjoyed this super random video, ramble video, talking about the beginning of ASMR. I hope you've enjoyed all the memes that I've made and put into this video. I don't think anybody else has done that. Like, I think that's a new concept. Tell me if you like it. Tell me in the comments if you like the memes, or if you think they're ridiculous. That's okay too. I'm really excited. I've got so many ideas, and I think the future for this medium is so bright. I think it really is like painting with sound and visuals, and painting with emotions too. I mean, ASMR is almost an emotional feeling, very pleasurable, and very healing. And the combination of those three aspects, I think, is pretty profound. And that I am living in a place and time where I get to play with that. It's really cool. So, you guys are the best. I've got more stuff in the works that'll be coming out soon. I wish I could work on this stuff all the time. Thanks. I'll see you in the next video.